When you've got a bureaucratic process that is untenable or ununderstandable, it doesn't make it difficult to do work. It makes it actually impossible to progress. Like here at Westgate, I'm going through this right now and have been for the better part of a year, but definitely since last summer at least, with not understanding how to be able to get parts. And this has occurred with me at several different companies in the past of you need a part and how to get it, how to acquire it is just not knowable. But you also see this in municipal governments. If you want permitting to build something, to build a house or a garage or a little additional structure or whatever, navigating how to make it occur is nearly fucking impossible for a person. While you can grasp the procedure, because it's something that you only do one time whenever you need it, so maybe for an average person that's one time every dozen years, you don't have that memory of learning. You completely lose it. I have to think that the housing, quote unquote, housing crisis that we have right now is a direct result of that happening. And when you say housing crisis, I look in the background, right up here at these hills, nothing but fucking land. Everywhere I look. Like, if you take an airplane over BC, there's literally no one anywhere except for a few condensed areas where there's a lot of people. It is so frustrating. And I'm a homeowner. I couldn't imagine somebody that's trying to get into the market. Somebody that's, say, like 25 years old and has just a regular job, say something decent, $60,000 a year. You're never going to own anything, ever. Well, not out here anyway. So incredibly frustrating. And I'm not saying that like all this land out here should be developed because that adds to urban sprawl and environmental issues. But if you don't let people build out on free land, you definitely need to let them build where we have been building. It is just so incredibly frustrating when there are rules that have been put in place by people who are fucking dead. For whatever reason, they decided such and such rule was a good thing to put into legislation. And to unwind all that shitty legislation about the, like, just taking the restrictions and the chokehold off of building houses that people need is a Sisyphean task. It's just feels so impossible. It's so bizarre because they're just rules written down on paper. If you go to the permitting office, the RDNO permitting office, and you talk to somebody, they will go through and they will enforce the rules and the bylaws and the zoning. But the question is, like, why are those there? There's never a question of like why. They're just enforcement people. I get it. They're doing a job. Boy, this has gone over to some sort of rant. I guess it was a rant to begin with, but it just feels like there are parts of legislation that should be respected and upheld. Parts having to do with the justice system, with torts and contract law and stuff. And that shouldn't change. Murder should always be illegal. But it feels like on a municipal level, if municipal governments did not look at legislation, their own zoning bylaws, as though they were permanent, but more as an iterative measure, that we would all be better off. Downtown Vernon's got a rule that they can only build so high. And I've heard it's for the view. I've also heard that it is for the airport, which you could probably put like a 200-foot building there and it wouldn't matter. The airport is 2 miles away. Maybe it would matter, whatever. But it feels slow to the point of not being able to understand what the rules really mean. It's easy to see what the rules are, but why the rules are there and why they are enforced and why we can't change them efficiently and effectively and with urgency. Rules like you can only build on a single lot in town. You can only build one residence. If you can get over logistics issues and environmental issues with it, as in logistics as in parking and environmental as in where does your water runoff go and that kind of thing. Why is this an issue that anyone gives a shit about? I get it that you don't want to be beside an apartment building, but if you're a neighbor, you don't have a fucking say in what that person does beside you, besides environmental issues, which would be like noise pollution, air pollution, light pollution, parking, that kind of thing. Rant over. Peace. And if you don't like any of what I just said, I'm open to talking about it. I'm open to discussion. I'm not open to comments. I'm not open to unnuanced text comments. Those things are shit, man. Fucking garbage. They're so frustrating. Apparently rant not over. All right, peace out.